Welcome to the Floors and Roofs video presentation. If you notice in our course book, there are several references to a website that you can go to download Revit files for the book assignments. C14 Floors is posted in Blackboard for your reference. We'll go through this quick book exercise. Open the C14 Floors file and then make the level 3 view active. In the Home tab, we'll go to Floor and Structural Floor, and then the first wall that you pick is going to determine the span direction. Also, if we don't want the floor to go right into the core of the wall, we're going to change our offset to 3 inches. We'll pick the inside surface of this wall on the left side first. And notice that it jumps from the center core in towards the interior by 3 inches. Also, you'll see these 2 lines that indicate that that is the span direction. But you can change that even after the floor's been placed. Up here you can see span direction. So I'll continue to pick the other walls. In Properties, pick Edit Type. Go to the type generic 12-inch and then duplicate that floor type and call it structural slab. And pick OK. Pick the edit button and notice here when you look at the preview that they've already done for you 3 or 4 steps by changing the structural 1 layer to concrete cast in place concrete material and inserted a structural deck. Notice that when you highlight the layer 3 structural deck, you have a deck profile. We've been working with profiles with different elements, so keep in mind that you can actually customize any of these profiles to your own profile. I'll go ahead and pick OK and then pick Finish Edit Mode, the green check mark, and then double click on this smaller wall section to activate it. And if you look at this level 3 that we were on and change your detail level to fine so that you can see your structural deck. Now let's open up the other posted file in Blackboard called C14 Design Floor. We'll activate the Section 1 view in the project browser, and there's our Corbu man. You can select here the level 1 floor and change its type to Design Floor Sandwich. This is a floor type that they duplicated, the generic 12-inch, and just made it a 36-inch floor depth so that we can take a look at creating a different slab edge. We'll create a void and then cut that void out of the slab edge. We'll go to the Home tab and under Component, Model in Place, we're going to select the category Floors and pick OK. And then call this one Floor Edge. L1. When we created forms in our mass models, we had similar tools to work with. Here we're going to use a void form called void sweep. They've also in this file created a 3D view called floors only, and we're creating a sweep. So we're in the 3D views floors only, and we're creating a void sweep. We can pick the pick path tool here under sweep, and then select this front edge as the edge that will determine our profile. You'll see the small reference plane that appears, and then go ahead and select the other 3 sides of the top edge of this floor. Once we're done selecting the edges, we can pick the green check mark or finish edit mode, and then see that our profile is highlighted. In properties, you'll see profiles. And as we said before, you can create your own profile to determine your slab edge. They've already preloaded this profile called SD Sandwich Edge. Go ahead and select that profile, and you'll see that the profile itself is on the outside of the slab. So we'll need to pick Flip in the options bar so that it flips back into the slab. Now we can go to the Modify Sweep tab and pick Finish Edit Mode or the green check. A void is created within the slab. So in the Geometry panel, we'll pick Cut Geometry. Select here the void first, and then the slab. And you'll see that the void has cut the slab to that profile. And then finish this profile by picking Finish Model. Let's take a look at that profile. Under Families and Profiles, in the project browser, you'll find the SD Sandwich Edge that they created. If you highlight SD Sandwich Edge, right-click and pick Edit. It opens up this profile, family file. And as we did before, they've created reference planes. They've attached here a label to these dimensions so that that void can be modified. We're going to create our own profile and load it into the project. So we can close out of this family file. We don't need to save the changes. We're going to go to the application menu and pick New Family, and then in these templates we'll use the template called Profile. It's kind of a blank template, so we can place a reference plane here. Go ahead and select reference plane, and then just follow here with your pointer down until you get to the 1 foot mark and pick. Pull your mouse to the left and click again. Instead of placing an aligned dimension, we can pick right on this small little dimension to make it a permanent dimension, and then escape out of that and select that dimension and then move it over a little bit. If you have a stair opening and the steel is showing like the stringer, we can create a profile here, going back to the tab. We can pick line and maybe just rectangle. We'll just create a profile that might illustrate a void for that flange and web to the dimensions that we would need for that profile. We can save this family as my slab profile and then load it into the project. We'll go to the south view and copy this floor. Down, just so that we can use it to create our new profile. We can select that floor, pick Edit Type, go to the generic 12-inch floor, and pick duplicate. And we'll just call this stair opening and pick OK. And then under edit, verify that it is a 1-foot floor structure, but this is where you could change the depth of your floor. Make sure you pick OK, and you see that the depth changes to the 12 inches. Now we can go to the floors only view, go to the tab and pick component, model in place, use the floors category, and we'll call this stair opening. Pick OK, and then we'll go to void form, void sweep. Use the pick path tool to select the top edge of this floor, and then the green check mark for finish edit mode. Change your profile and properties to your new My Slab profile. You'll see that we need to flip this profile into the slab. So pick flip, go back to the modify sweep tab and pick the green finish edit mode. Now we need to cut that void out of the slab. We can pick the cut tool in the geometry panel, select here the void and then the slab, and see that it cuts the profile out of that edge of the slab. Pick finish model and see that profile. Going to the level 1 view, this drawing has already set up for us reference planes that we can use to split the face of our floor. We used this tool when we looked at walls, and it is an option for site plans too. Let's go ahead and pick split face in the geometry panel and then select your floor. I'll go ahead and click and then use the rectangle tool in the draw panel to draw a rectangle for your split face. Pick the green check mark, finish edit mode, and then just underneath the split face tool is the paint tool. We can click on paint and change the material to your material flooring using carpet tile. Select here the split face that we created, and you'll see the new material on that portion of the floor. This file has a roof that's created by extrusion. We can select the roof and then pick edit profile and see that this is the original geometry that the roof is based on for its extrusion. We can modify this geometry and see the roof update automatically, or what we'll do is cancel out of this and delete this roof. We'll get an error, but we'll just go ahead and pick delete elements. It deletes or unattaches the wall from the original roof. Now in the south elevation, we can go to roof and roof by extrusion. It's asking you here to pick a plane, a work plane that you can use to draw that original geometry for the extrusion. So I'll pick OK, and I'll pick this far right side as my work plane, east elevation. I'll go ahead and pick open view. And at level 2, go ahead and pick OK. Now I'm drawing geometry that will represent the shape of the roof. If I start with something simple, like an arc, I can draw this arc and then pick finish edit mode, and in the 3D view see that the new roof has been created from that extrusion. You can adjust here the width of this roof by using these little arrow grips. Go ahead and select this curtain wall and change it into a different wall type, like the stacked wall at the bottom of the type selector, and then select the wall and pick attach, and then select the roof. The wall attaches to the roof here. On the other side, if we select this wall and pick attach and select the roof, we're going to pick delete elements, and that extra mullion that was there at the top is deleted and the wall is extended. Now let's select our roof and edit the profile. We can adjust here the shape by using different tools. To create a different curve, and then finish edit mode. The same thing about the mullion being updated. Go ahead and pick delete elements to delete the old mullions. And notice that because there's a relationship between the wall and the roof, both sides are updated. Now let's take a look at several other options for placing and modifying roofs. We'll go to the ground floor plan and create walls using a basic generic wall up to the level 2 height. Using the rectangle, we can create a simple shape for our walls, and then we'll change to the level 2 view so that we can place our roof in the Home tab by footprint. We'll take the check mark out of Define Slope so that we can have a flat roof, and we'll create an overhang that's 1 foot. Resting your pointer over one wall, you can use the Tab key to select the chain of walls and then left click. If we had the check mark in Define Slopes, there would be small triangles here representing the slope. But we're going to split this line and create our own slope arrow. We'll go in the Modified panel, we'll go to Split Element, and then split this side of the roof and do the same down below. Then pick Slope Arrow, pick a start point for the slope and an end point. On both sides, we'll pick Slope Arrow, and now we're creating the slope. When we pick Finish Edit Mode, you'll see in the 3D view that our new roof has been created with the split arrows. We can rest our pointer on this wall, use our Tab key to select all the walls and left click and pick Attach, and then select the roof. The walls will be attached to the roof. Going back to the level 2 plan, the default view range has a cutoff level and the top level. In the properties at the bottom right, we can pick the edit button next to view range. And notice that for this level, the cutoff plane is 4 feet and the top range is 7'6". Even if we made the cutoff plane 7 foot 6 inches, we'd still be short if we wanted to show our entire roof. So we'll change this top offset to 15 feet and the cut plane higher 15 feet and pick Apply. Now we want to be able to see the walls underneath. We can change our bottom to 10 feet and pick Apply. And now we can see our walls because the bottom view range is lower, the top view range is higher, and our cut plane gives us our entire roof. And this applies to this view, so you could in a project duplicate views to create your roof plan. Okay. And now if we go to roof and down to soffit, we're creating the shape that represents our soffit. If I pick the outside lines, I'll have one line to work with. I can either use a rectangle or continue with the line tool to create these boxes which will represent the soffit. Finish edit mode, and let's go to the 3D view and take a look at the soffit. You'll see the soffit that's created. While we're here, we can go to roof and fascia and select here the top edge of this roof, and you can see the fascia board is added. The same thing applies if we go to roof and pick gutter and select that edge. You'll see the gutter. You've probably noticed by now that we have several profiles that we can change. If I select the gutter and I pick edit type, you'll see that the profile that's used for here is 5" by 5". But there are several others, and we can create our own profile for this gutter. And for the fascia board, if I select the fascia board and pick edit type, this is the size, the 1 by 12, but there are others that are preloaded, but you can create your own profile for that fascia board.